Okay, so here is the graphical representation of the Bitcoin Care Home Retirement Plan, the best plan ever for preserving your family's wealth. So, traditionally, what would happen is your parent or parents need care. That costs money. The council usually is only prepared to pay a certain amount, which means that in normal circumstances, the family or your parents will be forced to sell their house to release the equity to then pay for care. Every single month, a certain amount is paid to the care home, and over time, the amount dwindles down, and depending on how much money it is and how many years, eventually the money runs out, at which point the council will step in. But even then, the council will only step in up to a certain amount, and families find themselves having to top up the amount anyway. The plan here that you can see on this image is the new Bitcoin Wealth Preservation Plan, which is far superior to the traditional way of paying for care. And what it does is it turns the unique characteristics of, so it utilizes the unique characteristics of Bitcoin to turn the whole system on its head. Win-win situation for everybody. So, represented here left is the house. The house, whether traditionally or using this new plan, will have to be sold to release the equity in the house. This is true whether you are paying for care traditionally through what everybody, millions of people do, or whether you're following this plan. But this is, of course, the Bitcoin plan. So the house is sold. The proceeds from the house is then transformed into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin then becomes the property of your parent or parents. They then, instead of owning a house, they now own Bitcoin. So, the next step of the process is to use Bitcoin as collateral to take out a loan to pay for care. So let's say in this example, we've sold the house for 400,000, which will, roughly speaking, buy us 4 Bitcoin at today's prices. We then use that Bitcoin to get a loan. Let's say we need £200,000 to pay for care for the next 5 years. So we submit our Bitcoin as collateral. Remember, it's only collateral. We're not actually losing the Bitcoin at all. The Bitcoin still remains our property or your parents' property. But we've got the loan is taken out against that Bitcoin. Let's say we borrow 200,000, that's used to pay for the care for the next 5 years. At the end of those 5 years, that loan will then become payable. One of the characteristics of these loans is it's not usually a monthly payment. You can pay back the entire loan plus interest in one lump sum at the end of a 5-year period. So let's follow along. So we take out the loan, we pay the care fees for the next 5 years. For the sake of argument, let's say our parents pass away or the care is no longer needed after 5 years. If it is, you could always take out another loan, but let's say it isn't. The loan is then paid back. Typically, these loans are around 10% per year. So a £200 loan over 10 years with a 10% interest, somewhere around £275,000 will have to be paid back at the end of the 5 years, which is not a problem because the Bitcoin, remember, is still your or your parents' or the family's property. And the typical appreciation of Bitcoin is 30% per year. So the loan has been costing us 10% per year, but the Bitcoin has been appreciating by 30% a year, which means the 200,000 that we started with, well, actually we started with 400,000, but let's say 200,000 at 30% a year. It's very difficult for me to do these mental arithmetics, but I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around 450,000. So you take that, you pay back the loan, 280,000, And guess what? We still have 4 Bitcoin, and we've now made a profit of £150,000. The family has retained all its wealth and actually built wealth, while at the same time easily affording the care that's needed by your parent or parents. It's a win-win situation. The council has not needed to step in. In fact, we don't need the council at all. We just simply go to the care home, tell them that tell them that your parent or parents will be paying for their own care. So the council's not involved, the government's not involved. Everybody, literally everybody wins. It's one of those really unique things where it's a win-win situation, and it's only possible because Bitcoin is sucking in all of the world's capital, because it is the superior asset. It's the #1 asset in the world. It's better than real estate, it's better than gold, it's better than everything. Now, if you're watching this and you know nothing about Bitcoin and you're still watching this, well done. So you're probably thinking, this sounds far too good to be true. Believe me, it isn't. It's a real thing, and it's actually something that I'm pursuing with my own parents. So if you're interested, the next step for you will be to take a look down below, maybe look into Bitcoin more deeply. You have to have a conviction in Bitcoin for this to work. But I don't want to go into that now. That's a different topic for a different day. This is an outline of the plan that's a little bit more graphically illustrated to help you out with understanding how it would work. So, are you interested? What do you think? Leave some comments. Let's see if we can find any flaws in the plan. I've worked with AI over the last week. AI could find no flaw in the plan whatsoever. So, if you think that you've found a flaw, add a comment and let's see if it's a real flaw or not. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps. Bye.